Hey, what is up everyone? Danny and Alex. Today, Vale Tudo video number 2. All right, so what we're gonna talk about today is the elbows. Now, guys, in the previous video, we showed some basic punches you should have if you're training in the combat sports. But if you were to defend yourself on the street, someone came up to me and I didn't have a lot of time to train them on proper technique, what I would teach them would be the elbows, right? Number one, it's a much harder surface to hit an opponent or an aggressor with using the hard part of your forearm and your elbow rather than the knuckles, the fist, or even possibly injuring your hand by spraining your wrist, maybe breaking the fragile bones, the metacarpal bones on the top of your hands, as well as your fingers if you don't properly connect. Even a trained and seasoned fighter without the hand wraps and boxing gloves, if they hit an opponent on the skull, they might risk injuring their own hands or even breaking that hand. So the use of the elbows for Vale Tudo is a great weapon to have in anybody's arsenal. So let's take a look. All right, so the first one we're not going to cover every single elbow, but let's cover 3 or 4 different elbow techniques for you guys. So the first one, I'll have Alex show the lead straight elbow. That means your lead elbow, which is the left side in his case, is going to throw a few in regular speed. Boom, boom. So notice how the rear hand stays up, because when you throw an elbow, like I've talked about in previous videos, you have to be in a closer range because the elbow is much shorter than the punch. So now you know you can also receive a blow to your face as well. So your backhand always protecting your head, your forehead, your skull, you know, because elbows are the ones that are going to create cuts and also knock you out. So that's the lead elbow. Now, if we go face to face and practice, just like in the previous video, we talked about always aiming at the target. Although you're not connecting for real, we want to visualize where we would throw that technique. And that's a very important part of our game. Is a lot of times we just shadow box, hit the focus mitts, hit the training bags, but we don't really see where the exact target, the precise target would be. By going slower and really seeing with a training partner, now you can really visualize and really see where that tool would be connecting, right? So if I'm talking about that lead elbow, it could be right beside the temple. It could be on the bridge of the nose, wham, and it could be below the eyes where the cheek is, and sometimes right on the chin itself from here where the jawline is, and crack that and create some knockouts. Now if we go on the upper part of the skull, that creates cuts, and if we go lower, that will be the knockout, right? So very gently what we do is we just keep a few inches away and we'll throw a few elbows from here, but we're just visualizing where we would hit it. So every elbow thrown could be at a different location in your mind, right? Very good. And that is the first elbow technique for this tutorial. All right, let's take a look at our second elbow for this video. We're going to look at the rear elbow, but this time we're going to bring it upwards, which is the uppercut elbow. So Alex is going to demonstrate a few. So just like the previous elbow, make sure your hands stay up and always visualize the target of where you would go. In this case, there's not as many options as the previous elbow. So what we're going to do is aim underneath the chin. But sometimes, as we'll see in a moment, the opponent is ducking down. It'll catch him right above the eye or on the nose itself, on the cheek area, on the forehead. But mainly if they're erect, you're going to catch them right under the chin. Okay, so let's do a few here. So now it's our right rear elbow. So here, that's the rear side. And he goes one, boom. It's right underneath the chin. Boom. That's it. Boom. And notice how you rotate your shoulders and your upper body into the elbow when you throw it, just like a cross. And then you come back, boom. Visualize where the elbow goes. Wham. Boom. 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 And that is the uppercut elbow. Now, quick note on how you can use these types of elbows. For example, if I was to shoot in on Alex and I didn't have a proper shot, let's take a look at how 2 elbows using the uppercut elbows from the lead and rear side is going to connect as I duck in, right? I'm coming here slow motion. I want to tackle. Boom, boom, right? If I go again, I go here and I didn't know how to level change properly and I'm just diving in to catch his legs or his body, this is what could happen, right? So boom, boom. And this is where the cuts or the knockouts would go, and that's why I think the elbows are a great weapon to have in anybody's self-defense arsenal. All right, the next elbow we're gonna look at, this one here, is going to be the down elbow, downward elbow, okay? So usually, we can do it on left and right side, but usually we're gonna use our strong side. In this case, if we're right-handed, that right downward elbow. So Alex is gonna demonstrate a few repetitions here. He goes up and brings it down. So imagine there's a table in front of you and you're just slamming your forearm right on top of that table, right here. So it comes up and it's a 12-6 all the way down. Now, when are you gonna use this type of elbow? Well, if I'm facing Alex, and let's say once again, just like in the previous technique where I shot in ugly and my head is down like this, now watch this. Boom, right in the back of the neck. This is a very, very devastating elbow for self-defense, all right? Another way is maybe I'm already tangling onto his legs, but once I'm here, look at this, right on the top, boom, from here. Great self-defense technique, right? Someone tries to hug you from here and doesn't want to let go. Now you bring it up and boom, right? So the targets on this elbow is going to be the top of the skull. If the person was looking up, of course, could be the cheeks, the forehead, right? If they're like this, could be the chin, of course, the jawline, that's the knockout. But a lot of times it's going to be more the top of the head or the back of the neck, right? Nowadays in mixed martial arts, these types of weapons are illegal. They're very dangerous, but for self-defense, this is a great weapon to have because if your life is at risk and someone tries to grab a hold of you and they're going to grab you and bring you somewhere you don't want to, this type of elbow is a very devastating tool. When I used to do karate when I was younger, we used to break boards and bricks using this type of weapon. So it's very devastating and it's a great weapon to have for self-defense. All right, we're going to look at one more elbow. Although this one is not usually taught to beginners, it's a very efficient elbow for self-defense. And if anything goes, right? If you're in a street fight and you really have to throw a weapon such as an elbow, and you take aim and then you want to run away from that situation, well, this one is a very devastating tool, right? This is called a spinning elbow. Now, just for terminology's sake, sometimes when I teach martial arts, Muay Thai in particular, I'll call the spin elbow, and other times I'll say spinning elbow, and it's just for terminology so we know for coaching purposes, right? One or the other doesn't really matter, could be one or the other, but when I say spin elbow, I refer to it as the Thai style spin elbow. So Alex is going to do a spin elbow here. Notice how he just turns the upper body, but his feet remain the same. They just rotate, but they don't switch. He doesn't cross the back leg over. That's the spin elbow. That is the proper Muay Thai style spin elbow. Now, in mixed martial arts, or if this was like a street fight, self-defense situation, you want to bring all of your body weight into it, I would say spinning elbow where he rotates like a tornado, right? So as he goes, boom, he's just going to turn right into the opposite side back to his stance, right? So just spins right 360. And that is the spinning elbow. Now, how we train this, I'm just going to place my hand here, the same height where my head would be, and now he's just going to step across and boom, see? Just touches the hand, just so that way there he can train. Once he turns, he can see the line of sight and exactly where the target would be. So, here, spinning elbow, boom, just steps across. Nice and light, just turns, boom, touches the hand. All right, guys, so there you have it, a few different elbow techniques you can use. We borrowed these from our Muay Thai program, but you can have in your arsenal for self-defense. Guys, leave us a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos just like this one, let us know, and we will catch you
in the next video.
Take care.